Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's first video, doing GavsWeatherVids Sunday Round Up for today's first video. So it's back from a few months layoff. I think the last one we did was probably in January, maybe February. Yeah, we're going to have your eclectic mix of this and that. We'll be looking at things like solar activity, sea surface temperature anomalies, the QBO, the AO, the LEO, and the weather for the next 10 to 14 days as well. It's going to be an extended video, so we'll see how the speech holds out as we go along, and I shall get on with that for you very shortly. Just say that tonight, this evening, we're going to have Stormwatch. So Stormwatch will be appearing for you this evening. There's going to be some very volatile weather coming up over the next few days, and we'll be discussing about that in Stormwatch this evening. So please like, share, subscribe on videos. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. And yeah, I shall get on with Sunday Round Up for you in a moment. I just want to say thank you so much to Philip Osborne for the latest super thanks. So thank you so much, Philip, for the super thanks, and also for your lovely comment on yesterday's 10 to 14 day. Philip saying, thank you as always, Gav, for your insights to climate and weather. I've enjoyed every video I've watched of yours on YouTube. Best wishes, my friend. Thank you so much, Philip. That's incredibly kind of you to leave that lovely comment, and also to leave a donation with that comment via super thanks. So thank you so much. That's incredibly kind. And it's my pleasure, my friends. I keep saying I love what I do with GavsWeatherVids, and I'm determined to get back to it, you know, and it certainly helped with the recovery a lot, I think. So, yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much to Philip Osborne, and to all of the, you know, all of you for the support you've given, and also for all of you who have given super thanks as well. Thank you so much, all of you. If you'd like to give super thanks with your comment, all you need to do and click the thanks button. There's underneath all of the videos there on the YouTube channel, on GavsWeatherVids YouTube channel. Click that, and you'll be able to not only leave a comment as normal, but also give a donation, super thanks with that comment. So thank you so much, everybody. And please like, share, subscribe. And it's amazing, it's incredible. Thank you so much. Right, let's crack on Sunday Round Up now. Let's see if I remember how to do this. It's been a long time, hasn't it? I'm going to start off radar picture. So we've already got some volatile weather down in the south. There's heavy showers and thunderstorms flashing away down on the south coast. There's the precipitation that got there. Generally still south of the M4, although some of these downpours are beginning to push in towards the southern part of the Midlands. If we add in the lightning display, you can see that the lightning is particularly down on the south coast, sort of Southampton, Portsmouth, that sort of area, with more storms in the channel. I think we'll see those storms becoming more widespread, if anything, this evening and overnight. We've got a weather warning from the UK. That a yellow weather warning has been issued for those southern counties for thunderstorms. This is valid from 8 PM this evening until 5 PM, until 5 AM, I should say, tomorrow. They're saying that there is a chance that thunderstorms may cause some flooding and disruption on Sunday night. As you see, generally in the south, just like from Cardiff to London, a little bit north of that, maybe up to Oxford, that we have the greatest risk of those storms. Although other places might get downpours across England and Wales as well through the course of tonight. So more about that, though, in Stormwatch this evening. Right, so do I remember how to do a Sunday Round Up? Let's see. This is how, we're going to deal with solar activity first. This is how the solar disk is looking on our side of this today from solarham.net. You haven't seen this for a while, have you? So I've got various sunspot regions here across the solar disk, a big cluster just there, and more over here as well. They are saying though that solar activity is at relatively low levels and is expected to remain at relatively low levels for the next few days, although there is a chance that solar activity might go to moderate or even high levels as well. So a bit of uncertainty within the forecast, but they're basically expecting that solar activity will remain at lowish levels. So, this is the GavsWeatherVids Sunday Round Up Solar Activity Tracker. Thank you so much to Shryan for updating this for us. You haven't seen this for a little while either. So, you can see here that solar activity is trending upwards. The orange line and the orange spots is each individual day's worth of sunspot activity. And we go all the way back to January 2021 with this, when of course we're just coming out of solar minimum and was at a very low level of solar activity. activity. So you can see that through 2021 and now into 2022, we have seen an increase in solar activity. We are getting some pretty big sunspot days coming up, as you expect, moving towards the more active part of the solar cycle, moving up towards solar maximum, not yet at solar maximum, of course, but moving in that direction. So the green line is the 30-day average. You can see that is trending upwards as well. The red line is a 7-day average. Of course, that will move around quite a lot, as it's only a 7-day average, but the 30-day average green line is also trending up, back round sort of early part of 2021 was down here. Now the trend line is up there, so clearly there is and has been a pretty significant increase in solar activity that's taking place over the past year or so, and especially so really since last autumn. I think that's when solar cycle 25 stepped up a gear really around last autumn and on into the winter. Was a pretty big winter for solar activity, especially of course just before Christmas. Was that spike up in activity that we had just there? Was that responsible for sending the Christmas cold spell down the tubes with 3 days to go? I don't know if it was or not, but it is certainly a coincidence that just before the Christmas cold spell went down the pan, solar activity spiked up quite dramatically so. But in any case, solar cycle 25 continues, and yeah, so we are some way short of solar maximum. Probably reach solar maximum in around 2 or 3 years' time, but definitely we are moving in that direction. Of course, you can get like 2 maximums, where you get like an early maximum and then there's a bit of a lull, and then you get a second maximum further on. A lot of solar cycles have that, actually. So we might be getting quite close to like the first maximum of solar cycle 25, and then, the second maximum might happen a couple of years further on. Right, this is from Rich. So this is a GIF that is showing us sunspot days and the current spot stretch. So with this, we normally look at days without sunspots. So we're normally looking with these GIFs at days that don't have any sunspots. We've decided to change that a little bit and now look at days that have sunspots, given that we are moving, up towards solar maximum. So instead of looking at days without sunspots, we're looking at days that have got sunspots, or spotted days rather than unspotted days, I suppose. So I hope that makes sense. In 2022 so far, we have had 135 days with sunspots. That is 100% of the year. So far, every day this year, so in 2022, has had sunspots. That's comparable to 2021, where we have 301 days with sunspots, which was 82% of the year. You can see that the solar minimum year, which is 2019, only had 84 days with sunspots, which is only 23% of the year. So you can see how solar cycle 25 has developed and progressed as we've gone, through 2020, through 2021, and into 2022. In terms of solar cycle 24, our comparable year would be 2011. Now, which of course did have that was the year that contained the first maximum of solar cycle 24. Happened in December 2011, I think, and you can see that 2011 had 364 days with sunspots, which was 99% of the year. Virtually the whole of 2011, except for one day, had sunspots. So that's the kind of thing we're expecting for 2022. If we start seeing days coming along in the next few weeks and months that don't have any sunspots, then we will be able to say that solar cycle 25 is stalling and is becoming weaker than solar cycle 24. At the moment, it appears that the two solar cycles are behaving very, very in a very similar fashion really, to be honest. So again, you see that in solar cycle 24, 2010 had 86% of the year with sunspots. The comparable year for that is 2011, which had 82% of the year with sunspots. So very closely aligned at the moment between solar cycles solar cycle 24 and solar cycle 25, the current solar cycle. So yeah, that's what we're going to be looking at over the next few years. Spotty days rather than days without sunspots. We're going to be looking at days that have got sunspots. And of course, when we pass solar maximum though, and we start moving towards solar minimum again, then we will switch again and have a look at days that don't have sunspots. But at the moment, we thought it'd be more interesting, you know, to have a look at days that have got sunspots. So I hope you like that change. Let me know in the comments what you think. This is from Shrine. This is comparing solar cycle 24 to solar cycle 25. You see we are very similar right now with this solar cycle to solar cycle 24. So where we are right now, the latest month that we've got just here for April 2022, that's where the sunspot number is, you know, for the mean sunspot number, that's where it is for April 2022. And again, if we come over here to 2011, you can see that at this point in 2011 we're sort of in that area. So again, we're in a very, very similar position right now to where we was in at this point in 2011, where we was at this point in solar cycle 24. Pretty slow increase in solar activity as well for this solar cycle, comparable to what you have in solar cycle 24 as well. Maybe this solar cycle has seen activity increase a little bit more quickly than solar cycle 24, but I think really the two solar cycles are performing very, very closely. There's the first maximum I was talking about, the solar cycle 24, that happened in December 2011 up here. Will we get a similar early maximum for solar cycle 25 as we did solar cycle 24 later this year? We'll have to wait and see. And then of course in 2012 into the first half of 2013 we saw quite a drop in solar activity in solar cycle 24 before the second maximum occurred in around February, I think it was, 2014. So again, the two solar cycles performing quite closely up to this point. We'll see whether they continue to be relatively closely aligned or not. Again, this is coming from Shrine. This is showing solar cycle 25 compared to other weak solar cycles. So again, this is quite a weakish solar cycle once more, despite the fact that it's perhaps a little bit stronger than solar cycle 24. There's not much in it, really. So you can see that with this, we've got solar cycles 5, 6, the 2 Dalton minimum, solar cycles 12, 14, 16, 24, and of course solar cycle 25, which is this black line just here. So the 2 Dalton minimum solar cycles of 5 and 6, the blue and orange lines, respectively, they're safe. We're having a stronger solar cycle than the 2 Dalton minimum solar cycles. We're in the cluster here with solar cycles number 12, 14, 16 and 24. Solar cycle 24 is the green line, so we're very, very close to that. Just perhaps ever so slightly stronger with solar cycle 25 so far than solar cycle 24. So, but not much in it. We're somewhere between solar cycle 24 and solar cycle 14. To be honest, and yeah, you know, we're down there with the weaker solar cycles once again. I wouldn't expect that much change from here. You know, we're well on into a solar cycle now, so I wouldn't expect that we'll see a dramatic increase or decrease in the way this solar cycle is performing. So I would imagine solar cycle 25 will continue to track pretty closely to solar cycle 24, to be honest, in terms of sunspot numbers, and it will be a weaker solar cycle, albeit we aren't again down in those 2 Dalton minimum solar cycles. So yeah, that's what you'll take with solar activity. We'll try and get Solar Sunday done at some point through this summer as well. It's been a long time since we did Solar Sunday, so we will try and get that done for you at some point this summer. Thank you so much to Shryan, and also thank you so much to Richard for the solar data there. Thank you so much to both of you for that. Right, shall we move on to sea surface temperature anomalies next? If you enjoy me sunny round, please smash the like button, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much everybody for doing that, and drop a comment. Let's know what's about this and all of our videos. It's quite good, isn't it, this? Right, let's have a look at sea surface temperature anomalies then. So, we've got our 4 areas of interest, of course. We've got the ENSO region just here. We've got the Indian Ocean over there. We've got the Northern Pacific up here. And we've got the North Atlantic over there. Let's deal with ENSO first of all. La Nina continues. Look at that. We've got cold and average sea surface temperature anomalies stretched out across the equatorial Pacific Ocean from Peru through to Indonesia. The La Nina goes on. This started a couple of years ago now. It actually into the 3rd year of this La Nina, and if this La Nina continues into winter 2022-2023, it'll be like a 3rd La Nina winter, which is quite uncommon, but it does happen occasionally. Of course, when we do winter updates, it will become quite an important factor for those winter updates. They start in September, of course. So yeah, La Nina goes on. The cold PDO signature continues as well. The cold average sea surface temperature anomalies down the Pacific coast of Canada and North America as well. So that's a signature of the cold PDO. That was in place last winter as well. The Indian Ocean looks generally warmer than average. I have heard that we're expecting to have a negative PDO setup this summer though, but at the moment sea surface temperature anomalies is generally warmer than average across the Pacific Ocean, across the Indian Ocean, I should say, and then the Atlantic. The warm Atlantic goes on, really. So we've got a warmer average sea surface temperature anomalies just here from Greenland down towards the Bay of Biscay. Also pretty warm again through the tropical Atlantic. That could become quite an important factor for this year's tropical storm and hurricane season. Notice very warm in the Gulf of Mexico as well, with those sea surface temperature anomalies. So a lot of energy is there. If we happen to get any tropical storms or hurricanes forming, they will pick up plenty of energy through the Gulf of Mexico. So again, with La Nina and a relatively warm tropical Atlantic, Gulf of Mexico, we're probably facing another pretty big hurricane season here, I would have thought. And then it does look a little bit cooler just here. Not excessively so, but it certainly is a bit cooler around there. So we've got it warmer through there. We've got it warmer through there and cooler there. Let's just do that again. So we've got it warmer through here. We've got it cooler through there. And then we've got it warmer down there. So that's how the Atlantic is set up at the moment. I won't say anything else about that. But those of you that are waiting for the winter 2022-2023 NAO forecast, that's going to be released probably in June, maybe July, but it'll be released in the next few weeks anyway. You may have an interesting forecast again this year. That's what I'm going to say about that. Right, okay, so this is the CFSV2 Region 3.4 forecast for the ENSO region. So again, from CFSV2, so again, you can see that La Nina, that's where we are at the moment. We're around 1 degree below average with both sea surface temperature lines. The black dash line, which is the ensemble mean, that looks like it's predicting La Nina to go on through the end of the year. That's January 2023, of course, by which time we're beginning to go back to ENSO neutral. It looks like we're going to have weak La Nina conditions continuing for the rest of this year, certainly the rest of the summer, possibly into the autumn and winter 2022-2023, which I'll say would be like a 3rd La Nina winter if it comes off, a 3rd sort of weak La Nina winter. So it'll be interesting to see what, if any, impacts that could have. The blue lines here, they are the latest ensemble members within the CFSV2 ensemble plume. They are a little bit more towards ENSO neutral as we get into the second half of the year. So the CFS might be starting to back off a little bit on this ongoing La Nina signal. But I have to say, based on the sea surface temperature anomaly that you see there, with all regions of the equatorial Pacific Ocean colder than average, you would expect La Nina to go on for the time being. There's no sign of any particular warming of the equatorial Pacific Ocean right now. So I would expect La Nina will at least continue into the summer possibly even into the end of the year. This is the SOI, this is the Southern Oscillation Index, which is an index that's reflecting the atmospheric state in the southern Pacific Ocean. It's measuring air pressures between Darwin and Tahiti. When you've got a positive SOI, the atmospheric setup will be reflective of La Nina. When you've got a negative SOI, the atmospheric setup will be reflective of El Nino. Let's have a look at the very latest then. So these are our columns just here. Date column is just there. We've got the pressure column for Tahiti just there, and the barometric pressure column for Darwin just there, and then the overall SOI number column is just here. You can see we've got very, very solid positivity of the SOI. We've had that really from beginning to end. I won't go through all of the numbers, but you see how positive they are. More recently, so we've got like the 9th of May at plus 34.57, 10th of May at plus 40.77. Very, very strong atmospheric setup for La Nina here. We've got 11th of May at plus 39.93, 12th of May at plus 32.80, 13th of May at plus 24.45, 14th of May at plus 19.25. Then the very latest 15th of May, because they are a little bit ahead of us in Australia, of course, where this is correlated by Bureau of Meteorology. And Queensland government. So the SOI number then comes out at plus 3.08. The atmospheric setup is very strongly reflective of La Nina. Therefore, the ocean and the atmosphere are coupled up. And as long as that remains the case, we will expect this La Nina to continue. QBO next, quasi-biennial oscillation. So again, the QBO is just an index that's reflecting the atmospheric state. This time, it's telling us the strength of zonal winds, essentially. So when you've got a negative QBO, you weaken the zonal winds, and you go into an easterly QBO. When you've got a westerly QBO, you strengthen, or positive QBO, which is a westerly QBO, you strengthen the zonal winds. So these are correlated into monthly pairs, of course. If we come down 2022, you can see we are at the moment, have been since the middle of last year, in an easterly QBO, in a negative phase of the quasi-biennial oscillation. And you can see that at the moment, we're really negative, actually. So January comes out minus 23, February comes out minus 25, March comes out minus 26, the latest number for April is again minus 26.20, which is a very strong negative easterly QBO. As we go through the rest of the year, we're probably going to see this reversing from the easterly to the westerly phase of the quasi-biennial oscillation. So we're probably going to see that the numbers go from negative to positive. We're probably about as negative as we're going to get. We'll probably see the negativity backing off through the summer, and by autumn we'll probably start to pick up positive numbers, and they'll probably increase through winter 2022-2023 as we go into a westerly QBO phase. That's from NOAA. This is from NASA. You can see the next westerly QBO phase is in the upper levels of the atmosphere and is beginning to descend into the troposphere. So up here, this is like the stratospheric level at 10 HPA. The tropospheric level, that's the boundary level of the atmosphere where weather is taking place, is between 30 and 50 HPA just here. So at that level of the atmosphere, you can see we've got these blue curves, that's the easterly QBO. Of course, we've got these green curves, that's the easterly phase of a quasi-biennial oscillation. You can see that that is continuing in the tropospheric level at the moment, but look up here, you can see the westerly QBO in the stratosphere and now beginning to descend down towards the troposphere. Not yet into the troposphere, but definitely the westerly QBO is developing and beginning to descend from the stratosphere to the troposphere. So yes, I think as we go through this summer, we will see the easterly QBO backing off. The strong easterly QBO will back off, will weaken, and will eventually shift into the westerly phase of a quasi-biennial oscillation, and that's likely to happen by the end of the summer into the autumn, I would have thought. So the next westerly phase of the QBO is coming. Arctic oscillation observed and forecast chart looks like this. So again, as with all of these indexes, they only reflect the atmospheric state. They don't drive anything in their own terms. We've got a positive AO, you've got low pressure over the Arctic and over North Pole. When you've got a negative AO, you've got high pressure blocking over the Arctic and over the North Pole. The black line shows where we've been with the AO. The red lines at the end where GFS ensembles are forecasting the Arctic oscillation to go. And at the moment, we're very strongly positive, actually, with the AO. We're up there. And with GFS ensembles, these red lines here, forecasting that the Arctic oscillation is likely to stay in a positive phase as well through the rest of May. So positive AO conditions continue and are likely to persist right way through to the end of the month. So May 2022 is likely to be a positive AO month with low pressure over the Arctic and over the North Pole as well. The NAO is very similar. Again, black line shows where we've been with the North Atlantic oscillation. Red lines at the end where Jeff Ensembles forecasting the NAO to go. At the moment, we're positive with the NAO as well, and we're forecasting, or the GFS ensembles are forecasting the NAO to generally stay in a weekly positive phase through the rest of May. So with the AO and the NAO both in positive territory, it's probably a sign for ongoing strength from the Azores high. So we'll probably continue to see the Azores high quite reaching, trying to reach into western parts of Europe, and we will probably continue to favour westerly type condition within the Atlantic, with both of these indexes in a positive state. Right, shall we do some forecasting then? Let's have a look at the GFS ensembles first of all, shall we? So the red line, it wasn't London today by the way, the red line is the first year upper air temperature average for London, and you can see we're starting off above average at the moment. We're going to say generally above average over the next week, but there is a reduction in the upper air temperatures that's starting to take place as we go into the last week of May. Not going cold, but begin to cool things down a little bit, I think, as we go into the final week of May, compared to the very warm weather that we've got coming up over the next few days. So it will be precipitation around as well, regular precipitation spikes, so this long spell of dry weather that we've been in, you know, for several weeks and months, is coming to an end by the look of it, and it does seem as though the second half of May will be significantly more unsettled with showers, longer spells of rain, and yes, there is a risk of thunder being mixed in with that, and we'll bring an update of that, of course, in Stormwatch. Temperature anomalies from the 15th to 23rd of May are above average in most parts of Western and Central Northern Europe. The UK and Ireland is included in that. Precipitation anomalies from the 15th to 23rd of May are coming out average to wetter than average, particularly wet across more northern areas. Latest wind from a map from earth.noschool.net shows that we're joining a bit of an easterly flow today, but trough of low pressure coming up from the south that acts as a trigger for some thunderstorms, as we've already explained. Right, so let's go through the chart data then very quickly. This is the UK Met Euro, drawing up a warm southerly wind on Wednesday. That could bring some heavy showers and thunderstorms with it. Into the end of the week and weekend, we'll push through a cooler, fresher westerly flow. There could be some heavy rain involved in that. Next weekend looks quite a lot cooler, with winds in from a west-northwesterly direction. Certainly cooler, fresher feel with showers or longer spells of rain in more northern areas. That's to midnight on Sunday as far as we go to with the UK Met. Icon, again, drawing up this warm southerly wind, could bring some thunder with it through the middle part of the week. And then we change wind direction over the weekend, turn it into a fresher westerly and particularly showery in more northern areas. GFS Midnight Run again brings up this southerly wind as we go through the middle part of the week, warm and stable, thundery through the middle part of the week, and then lower pressure coming in off the Atlantic at the end of the week into next weekend, bringing cooler air from the North Atlantic, cooler, fresher conditions into the weekend, still with richer showery weather, particularly for more northern areas. Heading up towards day 10, the jet stream, which is the black line here, that begins to move a little bit further southwards, so it turns cooler and rather showery in towards southern areas around day 10. Then high pressure starts to have a go at reaching through from the Atlantic up towards northern parts of Europe. It looks quite a weak and flimsy reach, I have to say. That's only finished up by the 31st of May, as far as we get to, with the GFS Midnight Run Easter Tuesday, 31st of May, when we've got a trough that's sitting close to the country. Then that could bring some showery conditions with it. The GFS 6Z looks like that. Again, we're drawing up this southerly flow On Wednesday, it's a warm, unstable, humid southerly flow, might trigger some thundery weather as well. Into next weekend, we change the wind direction from that southerly to westerly, so that will be a fresher wind direction, cooler as well. And we begin to turn more unsettled. Actually, the GFS 6 there turns very unsettled and really quite cool as we go into towards day 10. Looking at the black line, which I say is a jet stream, that is shifting south, so we go to the cool side of the jet, and we drop in this trough of low pressure from the north, so turning increasingly cool and showery with the GFS 6 there as we go into the last week of May. And further areas of low pressure bring unsettled conditions right way through towards month's end then with the GFS 6 So if that's right, big change for the last week of May compared to what we've had not only through May but through this spring so far really. GM again bring up this warm southerly flow. Will be unstable, could be some thunderstorms around the middle part of the week. Then we change wind direction from a southerly to westerly next weekend, turning it cooler and showery weather will be particularly in the north. You'll notice a cooler, fresher feel next weekend. Heading up toward day 10, try to get a little bit of a ridge coming up from the southwest, but it's more low pressure in the Atlantic that I suspect would flatten off that ridge attempt. ECMWF is looking like this. If you are enjoying this video, then can you like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. ECM, again, looking rather warm and stable, thundery potentially through the middle part of the week, but by next weekend, we're going into this fresher westerly flow. That will be a cooler, fresher wind direction. Into next weekend, not too bad. We've got a ridge of high pressure just to our southwest, so a little dry weather there. Probably the driest of the months next weekend, or the least showery, probably. But with wind direction coming in from the northwest, it will be cooler and fresher, of course. In more extended range, that high pressure goes north, and we start pulling a bit of a north-northeasterly as we head up towards day 10. So the ECM looks, increasingly cool and showery, really, around days 8, 9, 10, with winds in from a north or northeasterly direction. Will be a lot of dry weather in the north and west, but in the east, we are opening the door to those northeasterly winds. This is the precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from temeshow.com. So plenty of heavy showers, maybe some thunderstorms pushing up from the south across England and Wales through this evening and tonight as well. They carry on northwards up to Northern Ireland and Scotland tomorrow with probably an area of rain. I don't know if there'll be much thunder in that tomorrow, but it's like a band of heavy, persistent rain pushing north to Scotland tomorrow. Following behind, there'll be heavy showers as well through the course of tomorrow afternoon. And then Tuesday brings wet weather up the western side, and because not too much rain further eastwards. Wednesday, though, more heavy showers and storms piling up from the south. Wednesday to Thursday, lots of heavy showers and thunderstorms moving up from the south. Then more storms there towards the end of the week as well. And then we go into that ridge and cooler northwesterly, so the showers ease off. It does turn cooler, but showers ease down and we turn dry. Remember, other miles though are looking more unsettled, more showery for next weekend. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensemble today for day 10, which gets us to the 25th of May. From the Icelandic Met Office, 22 members of the ECM ensemble have low pressure to our east, so we're bringing in this cool, showery northerly wind, northwesterly northerly wind. So that looks showery, cool, and unsettled. 16 with high pressure ridging in from the southwest, from the Azores, sending the jet stream northwards, so a reasonable amount of dry and pretty mild, if not quite warm weather with that. And then 13 have high pressure away to the northwest. Low pressure is to our east and northeast, and winds will be coming in from a northerly to northeast direction. That does include the control and the operational run. So range of options, but probably quite cool actually, favouring around day 10. And then in 2 minutes time, these are the options that we've got. Gets us to the 30th of May. 15 members of the ECM ensembles have high pressure way to the northwest. We pull around that a ridge, wind direction, I should say, but sort of like a northerly or northeasterly direction around that ridge of high pressure. So relatively dry, probably quite cool with that. 12 with low pressure over Scandinavia, high pressure just to our west. That brings in like a showery sort of westerly type flow. 10 with high pressure right over the top of the country. 8 with high pressure over and slight to the east of the country. That would be a very warm option, bringing in the wind from a southeasterly direction. That could be quite hot. And then 6 with low pressure to over and to our east, high pressure in the Atlantic region northwards. That's a cool, unsettled, showery scenario. So there are a range of options that are on the table there through the last week of May. It's probably going to turn cooler for a while, I would think. How unsettled it gets remains to be seen. And it is quite uncertain, I think, as we get towards the end of the month. Right, lastly, CFSV2, so these are 500 millibar high anomalies broken down to week periods. The first week period takes from the 15th to 21st of May. The coming week has high pressure just to our east. Low pressure is away to the west. Winds are coming up from that very warm southerly direction. Warm, unstable, thundering in the week ahead. Week 2 will be the 22nd, 28th of May. The high pressure goes away to the northwest. Still quite a dry weather with that, but changing wind direction into something a little bit more cool, a little bit cooler from like the northeast perhaps. Week 3 takes a high pressure further west. So this is 29th of May through to the 4th of June. Right, let's go again then. Week 3 is going to be the 29th of May to the 4th of June. The high pressure goes even further away to the northwest into mid-Atlantic and up towards Greenland with trouble. Low pressure digging in over Scandinavia. That will turn the wind into a northerly direction. So that looks like it's cool and potentially rather showery as we go into month's end and the beginning of June. Bank holiday period, of course, And then week 4 today, this is changing day by day, so a lot of uncertainty about it. I'm not sure how seriously we take it, but week 4 is the 5th of June to the 11th. Then this particular CFS run is sticking in a trough of low pressure into northern and western Europe with high pressure centered around Greenland, so the jet stream southwards. And that looks pretty cool and pretty showery then, I have to say. Week 1, temperature anomalies are coming out above average for the UK and for most parts of Europe as well. Week 2, temperature anomalies from the 22nd, 28th of May, they're coming out above average as well. Week 3, temperature anomalies from the 29th May to 4th of June beginning to cool down a little bit. And then by the time we get through to week 4, which is the 5th to the 11th of May, we're actually getting cooler than average. So a change from the very warm weather that we've got at the moment, something rather cooler. Again, how seriously we take that, I'm not sure. Those week 3, 4 anomalies are changing day by day at the moment. The CFS might be picking up on some sort of pattern change to something cooler and more unsettled by the end of May and into early June. But again, you know, I'd stay cautious about that and we'll just wait and see. And we made it to the end. Wow, wow, wow. If you enjoyed the video, please smash the like button. Make sure you sub to the channel. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Drop a comment. Let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. And don't forget to tell your friends and family about GavsWeatherVids and get them to subscribe as well. We are on the grind to 14,000 subscribers, but our next mini target is 13.4 subscribers. So if you can get us to 13,400 subscribers and ultimately to 14k, that'll be absolutely great. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. And we're done. Wow, that's good, wasn't it? First Sunday Round Up for several months. I hope you enjoyed it. Please smash the like button if you did. The next Sunday Round Up will probably be released sometime in early June, I would have thought. So, yeah, watch out for the next Sunday Round Up coming up in June. Right then, that's what you'll take with everything. Don't forget, we've got Storm Watch coming up for you this evening, looking at the prospects of thunderstorms in the next day or two. So more about that later on. But for the Sunday Round Up this week, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.